launch. And with that, shut down your visors. O2 on and prepare for ignition, 202. Copy that. And initiating a full 10-4-4.
Gracious God, creator of the universe, and yet the lover of my soul. Alpha and Omega, and yet I can call you friend. I don't have to beg you for anything, but I can thank you for everything. God, I thank you because this is the day that you have made, and I can rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you for this day of magnificence and glory and splendor. God, I thank you for life, health, and for strength. I thank you for soundness of mind. I thank you for peace, love, and joy. I thank you for the essence of you that envelops me right now, from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet. We thank you for this day of manifestation. We thank you for the day of revelation. We thank you for the day of impartation. We thank you as you move in the midst of your people to bring us to the greatest times that we've ever seen since the foundation of the world. Thank you, Lord, that for this time and for this season, you've allowed us to be a part of your move in the face of the earth. I thank you, God, for the revolution that you're bringing forth, God, even in the midst of the earth right now. And I thank you for the opportunity to be a part of what you're doing in this hour, because in the last days, saith God, you said you would pour out your spirit on all flesh. And so now we thank you for the pouring out. God, I thank you for the rain and the move of your spirit. I thank you for fresh oil. I thank you for new wine. I thank you for the new thing that you're doing. I thank you now that it does spring forth. I thank you, Lord, that you've called us to be the head and not the tail. You've called us to be above only and not beneath. You've called us to be the lender and not the borrower. You've called, God, that our storehouses would be full and increase. God, I thank you because even I decree and declare that the people under the sound of my voice, even now, are moving in the might of your strength, not by might nor by power, but by your spirit. I thank you for those that are the sons and daughters of God that are called because they walk not after the flesh, but after your spirit. I thank you for the rising up of the people of your kingdom. I thank you that your kingdom come. I thank you that your will be done, even now in earth as it is in heaven. I thank you, Lord, because you are moving in the midst of your people mightily as never before. Raise us up, oh God, to the standard of what you've called us to be. God, I thank you for the standard of greatness. I thank you for the standard of holiness. I thank you for the standard of moving as the sons and daughters of yours, and not as vagabonds, not as those that never knew you, not as those that are confused and confounded, but God, those that know who they are in you. I thank you for the knowing. I thank you, God, for knowing you. I thank you for knowing your presence. Thank you for knowing your Holy Ghost power that gives us the ability to be successful. Your anointing that gives us the power to rise up and be called blessed. Thank you for that is in us. Thank you, God, for all things that pertain to life and godliness. Thank you because we are not confused. We are not deceived. And we thank you for that clarity of mind and the clarity of vision that allows us to walk forth as kings and queens, as princes and princesses in the kingdom that walk in the earth. We thank you that we are your beloved and we rise up as the apple of your eye. We rise up, oh God, as those that you love with all of your heart. And God, we love you back. I thank you for soundness of mind. I thank you for soundness of spirit. I thank you that healing is our bread. Healing is our deliverance. By the stripes of Jesus, we're already healed. And we speak forth that healing even now for those that need it. Thank you, God, for every stripe that was taken. Thank you for the bruising. Thank you that he was wounded for our transgressions, bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him. God, with those same stripes we declare and we speak healing in Jesus' name. We give you glory. We give you peace. We give you honor. We give you blessing. We give you might. We ascribe all of these things unto you because they are yours. Thank you. The fruit of my lips giving thanks unto your name. Ever giving you all that is yours. Glory, honor, power, dominion, majesty. It's yours. I decree it and I speak it. In the mighty name of Jesus, it is so. Amen and amen. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to welcome you to today's edition of Yes You O Cubed. What does O Cubed stand for? One-on-one, because it's just me and you. I am your spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman, and I'm so glad that you joined me on this Fresh Start Friday. Can y'all believe that? Today is May the 27th in the year 2022. Y'all, it's Friday. This time last week, it seems like it was just yesterday. This time last week, I was with my sister in Richmond, Virginia. And here we are. We've come back home and it seems like I just batted an eye and a whole 7 days has just flown by. But we're here. And I don't know about you, but I'm glad to be here. And I'm so glad that you are here with me. It's another day's journey. And I'm glad about it. Now, you know, this has been a great week. I appreciate everybody. So many people are traveling because it is Memorial Day weekend. So we're wishing traveling mercies for everybody that's out there. I know some are on cruises, some are on planes, trains, and automobiles. Whatever way you're traveling, we pray God's mercy upon you as you travel. And go on and have a good time wherever you are. Today would have been your mom's birthday, Joanna G. May she rest in peace, rest in power, rest in love, and let's wish her a happy birthday in heaven. That's awesome. Today is my aunt's birthday. She is 95, y'all, 95 years young. And I tell you what, May the 27th is a good day, Joanna G. May 27th is an awesome day. And my love and prayers and all kind of good energy coming to you, that this day will be a blessing of celebration to you, even in her heavenly birthday. Man, when you have a good mother, that's all I can say. When you have had a good mother, I'm just trying to tell you, there's nobody like them. So happy birthday to her. Come on. I love it. I love it. And thank you for sharing that with us on this morning. Now, as we get ready to start, you all know how we do. You know how we do. We like to start off with the Lions Den VIP section. For those that came early, for those that came and shared their love with us, to make sure there was plenty of love in the Lions Den when we got here this morning at the 7 o'clock hour. Rest assured, listen, they were having convocation. That's what I want you to know on this morning. They were having convocation this morning, a whole entire convocation in the VIP section of the Lions Den. So we had, first and foremost, Miss Fabulous, who came in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Miss Fabulous came in number 5, even though she was not going to be able to join us today. Mel is out today. She had some things that she had to attend to, but she came in this morning in the VIP section to make sure everything was in order, even though the head usher was going to be off duty. She wanted to make sure the house was in order. Thank you, Mel. Now, number 4 in the Lions Den. I'm telling you, I told you it was a convocation. And believe me when I tell you, these babies wasn't playing around this morning. They meant Jesus every step of the way. Number 4 in the Lions Den this morning was Kai Chick. And Kai Chick, we appreciate you so much for coming in this morning just to share your love. That's my evangelist, y'all. She's the evangelist. She takes care of the house. She brings them in, honey. She brings them in from the north, south, east, and west. She does not play. Thank you so much, Kai Chick. I appreciate you. I love you so much. Now, number 3. And who is going to get on that love seat this morning? Yes, number 3 in the Lions Den this morning was none other than Truck driver, you did that. That's my Mufasa, that fine looking young man. Yes, he did. He got in there this morning, but he was number 3. But I want you to know, even at number 3, it was 12:00 a.m. at number 3. You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? That's truck driver right there. Come on and give it up one more time for him. We appreciate his energy and his effort and the love that he brought into the Lions Den this morning. Now, second into the Lions Den this morning was none other than Shelly Thunder. Shelly Thunder, it was 12 o'clock in the a.m., but it was a difference of milliseconds, baby. Milliseconds. Go ahead and get your lips, your hips, and your fingertips and tell truck driver to scooch over just a little bit. Scooch over, truck driver. And listen, truck driver came in this morning and Shelly Thunder and our winner got a message from him. He said, "Good morning, Lions. We're going to be about this change. Let's boss up. Let's boss up. Let's boss up." Honey, they came in this morning. I told you it was a convocation. They came in having convention this morning. Yes, they did. Now, check this out, because the winner of Grandpa Holmes' chair is none other than Kim
Kim Possible. Kim Possible, you are the winner of Grandpa Holmes' chair. Get your lips, your hips, and your fingertips and choose that seat. Sit down, sis. Go ahead and have a sit down. You are the winner of Grandpa Holmes' chair. I love you, sis, and thank you for coming in. Y'all did that this morning. Y'all did that. You really, really did. I want you to know, hallelujah. Hallelujah. I want you to know, listen, all three of the Grandpa Holmes' chair and the love seat, they all hit at 12 o'clock on the dot. 12 o'clock this morning on the dot. I want y'all to know they wasn't playing about that thing. They were not playing. But the winner right there, Kim Possible, our pastor from the ATL. Yes. She came on up in here and did that thing this morning. I appreciate you, Kim. Thank you so much. And to everybody that came in the Lions Den, all 5 of y'all for the convocation this morning. Y'all did y'all's fine coming in. I'm telling you, it was a beautiful thing. And what do? They make sure there's plenty of love, soul, peace, happiness, and joy in the Lions Den. That's what they come bearing gifts, y'all. They come bearing gifts, and I appreciate them for that. Now, look at here. Right here, right now. I want you all to give some mod love to our moderators in the Lions Den. And yes, she came in at 12 o'clock, 12:00. Up above my head, I hear thunder in the air. There must be a Shelly Thunder somewhere. You better ask somebody. She's in the room, y'all. She's in the room. I appreciate her. Listen, did I see you, MCP? You saw that and you just rolled over and covered your head. MCP 812. You just rolled over and covered your head. Oh, that's funny. Baby, they worked that thing out. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? They worked that thing out. Between Kim Possible, 7-Eleven, Shelly Thunder, and Truck Driver, they wasn't playing. And listen, Kai Chick wasn't far behind. So at the end of the day, this is our moderator. I call her the prophetess. Honey, she will bless your life. She will speak a word into you. Yes, she will. And she ain't playing with that word. Now we come to the leader of the pack, none other than the Rebel Inc. Yes, stay with us and we're going to go for anti-morning bangos this morning. You stay with us. When we leave and dismiss from this place, we will be going to Rebel's house. She is a streamer. If you're not following her, please follow her. She's going to bless your whole life. I promise you she will. And this new addition that she has to her stream on anti-morning bangos, the videos will have you doubled over and just pretty near crying. I'm telling you, it's funny. Then we've got the third angel. Yes, the third part of the Trinity. None other than Michelle Brownell. I love this quiet storm. She changes the atmosphere just by being in the space and the place. Those are the moderators that are here in the Lions Den taking such good care of us. And I appreciate every last one of them. Yes, I do. Now, as we get up out of here and we get ready to get this party started and get this party crack-a-lacking, I want to continue to appreciate everybody that's coming in the Lions Den daily, whether you're in my chat or whether you're just out there auditing and listening. I want to say a special shout out this morning. Come on, get your coffee cups out. You know where we're headed. Get your coffee cups out. Get your coffee cups out. But I want to add a special shout out this morning to one of our personalities, radio and otherwise, here locally that's in the Lions Den this morning. And I want to say good morning to you. He's joining us from LinkedIn. So listen, we're out there, y'all. We're a little bit of everywhere and they're coming in from all directions. But I appreciate him for coming in. This brother makes it happen here locally in the city. He hosts an annual celebration every year. He's a mover and a shaker. He's always out there just on his grind. Downtown Melvin Brown is in the house. Downtown Melvin Brown from Kansas City, City, Missouri. I'm so glad that you're here this morning. I saw you, and good morning to you. Now we're going to come up and we're going to give these good mornings because, you know, as my mother said, you got to speak to somebody when you come into the room. And I just want to speak and acknowledge everybody that's in here on this Fresh Start Friday. Yes, again, downtown Melvin Brown via LinkedIn. We're sending all kind of love, all kind of mad love to you. And thank you for taking the time to come in this morning in the Lion's Den. I appreciate you, sir. That's my friend. That's my good friend. And for all that you do for the city of Kansas City in the gospel arena, I just want to send all kind of mad love to you. Now, get your coffee cups out, get your coffee cups out, get your coffee cups out, get your coffee cups out. I see you, the Rebel Ink. Come on in here this morning. One reason is really not here. Shh, you didn't hear it from me. Anyway, good morning to you. Stacy 546, I see you. Good morning to you. Come on in here. And I'm coming on down. And Joanna G. And yes, blessed birthday. Rest in heavenly peace to your mother. Thank you for coming in this morning. And I'm sending all kind of extra love to you today, Joanna. All kind of extra love coming to you today. So much love, so much love, so much love. Rashida Renee, I see you. And thank you for that announcement. She comes in regularly and announces that those that are watching via Facebook, I keep putting this announcement out because at some point we will be phased out, I'm sure, from Facebook. And I don't talk about it, but I still have to go daily and dispute Facebook to get our stream put back up. I have to do that daily, a daily dispute. Oh, you know, but listen, I've been running for Jesus a long time. I'm not tired yet. But at the point in time that they get to be too much, we may not be there any longer. So we're trying to get everybody that is particularly on Facebook, go ahead and transition over to YouTube so you can continue to follow and you can continue to get the notifications when we are streaming and when we're going live, because Facebook be playing, y'all. Facebook be playing. And like I said, I just don't talk about it. But please do know I file a dispute daily. I file a dispute so that we can get that stream put back up after they take it down. So please do that. If you're on Facebook, please do that and make sure that you can stay up with us. BTD Mom, I see you. Come on in the room and good morning to you. Coming on down in MCP 812. So much love to you and all kind of hugs, kisses and love coming your way. Oh, that's my girl. That's my cousin. That's my sister cousin right there. Lovey 54 is in the Lion's Den this morning. Come on in here, sis. I see you and so much love coming to you. Coming on down and looking to see who all is in here, y'all. Kim Possible 711, the pastor from the ATL. She is here. And let me say this. She is a part of Good Grief, y'all. She's a part of Good Grief. And we won't be having that today because of the holidays and people traveling and all of this, that, and the other. But I definitely want to say we're putting up and sharing all kinds of love. So let me say that again for anybody that did not hear me. We will not be having Good Grief on today because we have people traveling and it's the holidays and all of that. We're going to give everybody some downtime right there. But there you see Crazy Berrytown and Kim Possible 711. They typically meet us at 12 o'clock noon Central Time every Friday for Good Grief, and that journey is just powerful. Now, as I say that, I'm so glad that Kim Possible is here on this fine day. And we're still sending up prayers. That was one of her dear personal friends that was brutally slain in Atlanta, the preacher, the female pastor. And so we're sending love up. I'm glad that you're here. We're sending condolences, prayers, love, everything that we can send to you, Kim. We are sending your way. And I know that this is a journey for you and all of your other colleagues there that knew her so well. So prayers going up to you. Definitely want to stop and extend that from the Lion's Den. Come on and put those praying hands, put those hearts up. Kim Possible, yes, right here in the Lion's Den. We're sending all of the love that we can send to you. Hugs, everything possible. On this healing journey for yourself and the family and friends of Pastor. Blessings to you. Now, I'm coming on down and I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm booking. And who else do I see in the Lion's Den? My dearest friend, Fairly All Day, is in the room this morning. Come on in here. Blessed Friday to you. I love you. Absolutely. Yes, I do. Now, I'm coming on down. And she is a moderator for Dr. Dady Priest. Every chance I get to say Dr. Dady Priest, you know I'm going to say it. That's my girl. I want you all, if you're not following Engagement Matters, please go out there and follow Dr. Dady Priest, because she will engage you, and she is a whole vibe all by herself. Yes, she is. Now I'm coming on down, I'm looking and I'm booking, and I'm seeing who else is in my chat this morning. Kai Chick. Yes, that's my evangelist right there. That is the evangelist. I love you dearly. Kai Chick is in the room, and she's moving on up. She's moving on up a little higher, and I'm so happy for everything that God is doing in your life. Come through. Jenny Fur is in the room. Good morning and happy Friday to you. You're feeling accomplished, proud, confident, and refreshed this morning. Come on. How are we feeling? We feeling just like you, Jenny. We're feeling just like you. Come through. So much love to you, and thank you for coming in the Lion's Den this morning. Coming on down, and we're looking and we're booking, and we want to make sure. I want to see if anybody came in the basement while I was upstairs. Crazy Berrytown. There she is, y'all. She's the other side and the other half of Good Grief, which we are not having today, by the way. But she is fabulous. She's beautiful. She's marvelous. She is your Zumba instructor. And please, if you're not following Crazy Berrytown, CBT as we call her, please go out there and follow her. She will bless your whole life, especially your body, if you just get up and move it a little bit. Now, coming on down, and good morning to you, Crazy Berrytown. I appreciate you. Andra Penn, there's my come through. Good morning to you, Andra Penn. Now that's my friend from way back. Oh my goodness, Bonner's in the house. I appreciate you for being here with us this morning, Andra, and blessings to you, and welcome to the Lion's Den. Cassandra Isaiah, yes, that's my sassy and classy Cassie. She's in the room this morning. I love you, sis. Come on in here, our poet laureate, and come on and say whatever you want to say this morning. I appreciate you for being in the Lion's Den. Oh, it's a beautiful day and beautiful people right here in the midst. Tall Pumps is pumping tall. Good morning to you, sis. And she is a moderator for Woman Unsilenced, who, listen, y'all don't sleep on Woman Unsilenced. Woman Unsilenced has some excellent, marvelous guests. She does a very tremendous stream. She has some of the best people that she interviews. Come on here. Don't y'all sleep on Woman Unsilenced. Tall Pumps. And listen, I get so excited every time I go in and Tall Pumps come in. There's my pastor. She just makes me feel real good. Tall Pumps is over there moderating and doing her thing. Don't y'all sleep on Woman Unsilenced, because she's doing her thing out here. And listen, it's a powerful stream that she does. Please support Woman Unsilenced in her journey. Raw Confessions is in here this morning. Oh, I see. She came in to share some love and some prayers with Kim Possible. But it's good to see you, Iron. That's my Iron. You know, iron sharpens iron, and that's what Raw Confessions is to me. I love you, sis, and thank you for coming in. Now, I know you're lurking and working, and she's always here. For those that think she's not, she's always here, but she's lurking and working. But when she deems it necessary, she pops her head right on in here, and I appreciate it. Freedom Friday, come on with that, Cassandra. We receive it. Good morning. That's what Raw Confessions said. Now, as we get ready to get this party started and get this party crack-a-lacking, get your coffee cups out. Get your coffee cups out. And again, good morning to those that are not in my chat. Morning, I see you answering back. You just happen to see your ministry for the first time. Listen, I'm doing well, Andra. God has blessed me, healed me, and I'm doing well this morning. And that's how the Lord works. That's just like God. Get your coffee cups out. Because it's a great day to be alive, and there's so many things, so many wonderful things that are going on. Now, just so you know, Andra, I actually preach on Sundays at 2:00. This is a segment and a stream that we do where we talk about, we give a what happened. What had happened was we talk about what happened during the night and what's in the news. And then at the last hour from 8 to 9 or 8:30 to 9, depending on how long I've talked on what happened in the news, then we just have a positive, empowering word for everybody. So stick with us if you can. If you can't, I just appreciate you for sticking your head in the door this morning. Thank you for being here. But I did want to clarify, this is not going to be just ministry, but it's all ministry, but it's not going to be from the 66 books or anything like that. We're just going to be talking this morning. And as you'll see, just hang around, come back on the regular. I'd love to have you back, but I'm glad that you're here today. We started off with what had happened was while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, and the eagle has landed. Oh my goodness, Pastor Baloo is in the house, y'all. 2 p.m. on Sundays. So I do several different streams, Pastor Baloo, and I'll stop because it's you. I do Tuesday through Friday from 7 o'clock in the morning to 9 a.m. is Yes You O Cubed. We have a segment of slumbered, slept, and slobbered, and then we have an empowering word that we share on those days. Then at 12 o'clock on Fridays Central Time, we have Good Grief. If you know anybody that's on the journey of grief, and even if you're not on the journey, but you just want to come and hold space at 12 o'clock p.m. on Fridays, we host Good Grief. Now, because people will be traveling and because of the Memorial Day weekend, we're not meeting today, but every other Friday. And typically, even while we take holidays in other spaces, Good Grief has been functioning regardless, but we're giving them a break on today. It's a lot going on and a lot of travel too. Then Saturdays, we have Institute for Higher Consciousness, which starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. From 10 o'clock to 11:15, we take that 75-minute segment and we have in-depth instruction at a college level. Then Sundays at 2 o'clock p.m., I am here, and that's where I actually will preach a sermon. Thank you, Andra. Thank you for sharing the stream. I appreciate that. That is where we will actually preach a sermon and take a text and teach that thing and deliver a word from the Lord. Even though I think I deliver a word from the Lord every day, but that is especially designated for that Sundays at 2 o'clock p.m. And then 6 o'clock p.m., I have you carry on conversation with me and we engage in topics of today or whatever we want to chit chat about as friends. And then Monday at 8 o'clock, I have my millennials, because I refuse to leave our young people out. Our millennials come on Mondays at 8 o'clock, and it's a beautiful gathering that we have. Those are all the opportunities currently to join us. And so I appreciate you for patronizing this stream on today. And any other time you want to come in, you are always welcome in this space and in this way. Thank you, Kim. I think the word comes forth daily, but just in a different package, just in a different format. Thank you for that, sis. And this is my pastor from the ATL, Kim Possible 711. We got all kind of pastors up in here, and I just love it. I absolutely do. Now, what had happened was while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered. Yes, while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered. There are a few things that happened out there in the world. And listen, we're going to talk about it just a little bit. And you know, with this being Memorial Day, I'm going to share, and then I am going to talk about trauma. I'm not going to go through a whole lot of stories because almost all the stories we have obviously are revolving heavily as far as what's being reported in the news right now. We got Ukraine that's topping the list. We've got the Texas shooting, obviously, that's topping the list. We've got Ray Liotta's death. This guy, let me see, he was off of what was the show he was on? Goodfellas. Goodfellas is dead at 67. For anybody that didn't know that, that's trending and topping in the news this morning. I can't necessarily say that I was a Goodfellas watcher, but if you did, but I have seen him on other shows, and so that's trending as well. And monkeypox. Those are the things that are really trending and being talked about today. Now, the Depp Heard trial, I ain't even talking about that. So, you know, I've got my own sense of feelings, distractions. But at the end of the day, that is trending also. Anybody? Yes, he passed away, Tall Pumps. He passed away at 67, which to me, at near about 60, that's a young man. That's a young man. That's a young man to me. Y'all see all this gray, hoary hair on top of my head. That's a young man. So yes, he did pass away. It was reported to me, and that is trending and topping the news this morning. Now, I'm going to more so deal with this one area, and I want to talk about it because I'm going to shift over to traumatic, dealing with trauma, and that's where I want to go with that before I go into our positive word that we're going to talk about. We've been dealing with boss energy and encouraging people. That is young. Crazy Berrytown. That's young. 67 is young. So yes, our hearts and condolences and prayers to all of his family and friends and those that cared and loved for him. And as a humanitarian, we care about everybody in this space. So listen, I do want to come here just for a second, and I do want to talk about the tragedy. That's what I'm going to talk more about on today, because I want to talk about trauma and the impact of trauma that we are going through, and don't take it lightly. Now, this is what is trending, and so I just wanted to kind of talk about it a little bit. More questions about law enforcement. If you all see that large headline right there, more questions about law enforcement response. Now, this is something that they're talking about quite a bit, you all. And why are they talking about it? There are so many of the family members of those young people that are extremely angry at the law enforcement, because it's reported to me that when they showed up on the scene, there was just an abundance of law enforcement presence there, but they were standing outside doing nothing. So now there was a series of some law enforcement, and our prayers go out to one who actually got to the location and discovered that his 10-year-old daughter had been slain. So our hearts go out to him. But then it was also reported that other law enforcement officials were going in and getting their children out of the building. Now, as they were going in and getting their children out of the building, you know, and you know, I'm gonna let that marinate. I'm gonna let that hang in the air. For just a minute. While they were going in and getting their young people out of the building, some of you may be seeing clips of where the family members, mothers, fathers, were begging them to let them go in and get their children and bring them out, and they were being held at bay as the police officers and law enforcement stood outside doing nothing. Now, while this is Jonna CPW, come on in here, sis. So much love to you and good morning. Yes, that it's reported to me. Popo were going in getting their children out while the other children were still inside being terrorized and traumatized. Now, what kind of mess is that? So at the end of the day, this is the question that has come up since Sandy Hook. Kai Chick, isn't that just, it's just sad. Since Sandy Hook, and all of this that we saw in that being one of the first mass murders where 20 children were shot down, gunned down, mowed down, murdered, massacred inside the school along with 3 teachers. At the end of the day, there was supposedly a change to law enforcement procedure that they would do and act as aggressively and as assertively as they could to apprehend the shooters in a live shooter situation, to try to spare the lives of the children instead of just standing outside as we saw them do in this last incident, standing outside while there's one shooter barricaded inside that's just out here shooting up kids and killing them. So this is what the questions are revolving around the way the law enforcement responded. Now, so, and I know we can say, oh, you know, they feared for their lives. They feared for their lives. You're law enforcement. You're law enforcement. And this is my thing. So the parents, and I saw this video clip, some of you may have seen it as well. The parents started trying to come together and rush the building to go in and get this one shooter. Storm the building and get the one shooter while the popo were standing outside. Yes, standing outside, just standing there. Now, I know some may be saying, but their lives, this is what you signed up for. You have vests. You have training, you have all of this, and you just leave one 18-year-old loose in a building to just shoot him up, and kill as many folks as he can get out of his magazine. Now, there's also a question, because initially they tried to come out with a report saying that they tried to apprehend the shooter at the door, but it is reported to me that the video shows that the man walked in the building unopposed. The man walked in two-fisted with his AK and unopposed, just walked in the building, barricaded himself in a room and just started killing up little kids. Now, this is why there's questions about the law enforcement response. Somebody about to lose their job, tall pumps. Somebody about to get your coffee cup up. You know, I don't throw shade, I shed light. This is a serious question, and this is a serious matter because, again, after Sandy Hook, supposedly, I know, Kai Chick, supposedly the response is to approach the shooter or shooters as assertively and as aggressively as possible to apprehend them. And so we don't have this escalation in numbers. If it could have been, now any children killed is too many children, but if it could have been 5 children and the man had been rushed versus all the children and teachers that he ended up killing, we have to start looking at what are we paying law enforcement for. So the families are extremely angry because they said there was a long span of time that there was no movement on the law, on the part of law enforcement to apprehend this man, and they were all just standing outside, fumbling. Even as the parents continue to insist, good morning, Simply Amazing. Come on in here, sis. Come on in here. So much love going to you. They need to go. Turn the hats and the badges in today, Jonna CPW. So this is basically, as we look at this scenario, it's like if you're not going to protect, if you're going to fear for your lives, what do you think these children in the rooms, they're fearing for their lives? But you're standing out here after you've been trained and being paid, and you refuse to go in and apprehend this man because you're fearing for your lives. So the parents then said that basically what they did, they had to deal with the anguish that they were being more patrolled by the police officers outside to keep them from coming in than the police officers going in to patrol this shooter and apprehend him. So extreme agitation, extreme irritation, lots of questions about the law that was supposed to have changed as far as law enforcement, especially in a school shooting situation, law enforcement's response and what they're to do and how they're to do it. Now, this is my question. If a law enforcement officer could go in and get his child out of school and bring him out alive, why couldn't they go in there and get that shooter? Inquiring minds want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. If you could go into school and rescue your child, why could you not care about somebody else's child and go in there and get that shooter? Stacy, that's how you were trained. You had a program called shoot, don't shoot. Don't give you didn't give you an option to wait for backup. You had to do it on your own. You had to get a certain score to pass. Come on here, Stacy. And this is my sister in blue. She's a retired police officer, so she's talking from experience. So at the end of the day, explain it to me, Lucy. Explain it to me. How do you apprehend someone standing outside? Kai chicks standing outside in numbers. And this is what the parents said. I heard one man, that man was so mad, and bless his heart. That man, that father said, give me the vest and I'll go in there. And he said, don't give me the vest. It doesn't matter. I'll go in. And the families were literally saying, let's rush them. Let us just, and we don't care. We'll do whatever we have to do. Our children are in there. You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? So that's why you keep saying dismantle the department and start new. I hear you, Stacy 546. I hear you. If they were afraid of being obliterated by an AR-15, seems to me those kinds of weapons need to be banned. You think, Crazy Berrytown? You think? And I'm 100% with you as the NRA meets today. You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Yeah, and so you see, as we keep having these stupid situations that happen, that there's no reason this needs to happen. And only in America, this isn't happening worldwide. Only in America are we having mass shootings of our babies. And this is what I want to say about the AR-15 without being graphic. But even as they reported, there was a doctor, one of the doctors that was actually saved or did surgery, and she started weeping. She was trying her best to hold herself together. But as she said, you all have no idea the damage that an AR-15 does to a body, especially a little child's body, How can we not care about that, America? How can we be so cold and so cruel that we don't care about obliterating whole entire limbs, as she said, if you can envision, there are whole pieces of body parts gone. And we look at police officers that are scared to go into a building to save little children from one 18-year-old man because he's got an AR-15, but you won't take that weapon off the street. And again, let's be mindful, at the age of 18, after his birthday, he walked right in and armed himself with all of this and the ammunition to do. And at the end of the day, Houston, there is a problem. And I feel for people that do not have any compassion in their hearts, because as I said, listen, you're not going hunting with the AR-15. Quit.
Why you always lying?
No, you are not going hunting. You're not hunting wild game because, number one, you ain't going to have nothing but hamburger after the time you get finished shooting the animal up. There's not going to be anything left but pieces of flesh here and there. You're not going hunting with the AR-15. Stop the madness.
Why you always lying?
It needs to be banned. And this is why, listen, Stacy, why couldn't he have grabbed a few other kids while he was in there? Because me, myself, and I and mine, us four and no more. And unfortunately, this is the sad state that we have found ourselves in too many times, and more times than not. People don't care unless it is at their front door. People don't care unless it's in their household. People don't care unless it's their child, their family, their situation. And it needs to stop. Come through here, John and CPW. It needs to be banned. All caps, bold, italicized. Those weapons of war and weapons of mass destruction that we're releasing from terrorists and homegrown terrorists in our own country, it needs to stop. That whole department should be under review and or fired, Crazy Berrytown. So listen, and then let's again deal with this. How did this armed man that we now know walked into this building unhindered? and just walked in and started shooting them up. So these are issues that are coming out about the law enforcement response that they received in that town. And I know we can say this, that, or the other, but at the end of the day, if there's no protection and we've got to protect ourselves, what's the point? Please explain it to me, Lucy. Explain it to me. Now, you know, this is Yes You O Cubed, one-on-one, just me and you, and I don't just throw shade, I shed light. So at the end of the day, I want Dr. Dady Priest is in the house, y'all. She's in the house. That's my girl in Engagement Matters. If you're not following her, please follow her right now. Right now, please follow her. That whole department should be under review. And you see them standing outside. The family members literally begin to take their cameras and video the popo standing outside as their little babies are being mowed down on the inside. So at the end of the day, beloveds, simply amazing. I hear you. Listen, my moderators got you. My moderators got you. Wall Street Journal headline: Uvalde shooter fired outside school for 12 minutes before entering. Local residents express anger and frustration as police detail new timeline of the mass shooting. Kim Possible, you know, and as more details come out, as we get more and more understanding, as we get more and more clarity, and you know how the clarity comes? Video. I'm not the average girl from your video. I told you, video has become this country's best friend because the folk just be telling all kinds of lies.
Why you always lying?
And when we get the video and the footage and the recordings and we're able to go back and look at what actually happened, what happened was a whole bunch of mess, y'all. So at the end of the day, Wall Street Journal and those, I'm just looking, and as we get more details and as we get more information, that's why the response is being questioned more and more and more. They sound like they was in cahoots with him, you know, and at the end of the day, I don't, you know, for the simple fact, Tall Pumps, that many of them had children that were in that school, as was witnessed by them going in there to get their children out. And unfortunately, God sent all kind of comfort to the officer that got there and found that his 10-year-old daughter was deceased and slain. You know, at the end of the day, I don't think they were in cahoots, because they wouldn't have had their cheering up in there. And that's what I feel about that. Had they known, they would not. When their children would not have been at school that day. They'd have called in sick or whatever else. If that were the case, I believe they would not have put their children in harm's way. I just don't believe that. The whole thing, dispatch, janitors, everybody out. I hear you, Jonna. Everybody out, because these babies are in here having to fight for themselves. You've seen it on a human. It's unimaginable for me on an adult. Come on, Fairly All Day. And that's trauma. So if they were scared, why are they on that job? And this is the thing that I've been saying about Popo all along. Every time we hear, I fear for my life, I fear for my life. You're in the wrong line of work. If you're fearing for your life, sit down, go somewhere. We don't need you here. We need folks that have men of valor. Can we get that? Women of valor. We don't need y'all out here sipping coffee and eating donuts and scared to go in talking about I feared for my life. Now, none of these excuses that are trying to use matter. You can't tell me it ain't a whole lot more and it'll all be revealed. Come on in here, Fairly All Day. Come on, Simply. So at the end of the day, they're armed, they're trained, and scared. Explain that to me, Kai Chick. They're armed, they're trained, and they're scared. Explain that versus unarmed, brave parents that were ready to storm that building. So Houston, what's wrong with that picture? No. And if that's the kind of fear that you're going to operate in, we don't need you here. Goodbye. You shall not pass. And that is where I feel like we really need to address, and as I'm talking and as I'm sharing on a daily basis, and we're talking about boss energy, I hope that we understand it's not just jargon, but we need to reposition the way we operate and interact in our country, in our neighborhood, in our families. There needs to be some adjustments because this system is past broken. It's past broken, y'all. This system is past broken. And if there's going to be a healing, if there's going to be a regroup, if there's going to be any of that, listen, y'all better do it yourselves, because even on today, now, the governor of Texas did come out and say he's not going to be in person at the NRA rally in light of this last mass shooting incident. You think? Now, even the fact that they reported he's not going to be there in person, it has to make me wonder, what in the world? Are you going to be on video? Are they going to zoom you in? And that might be out of fear. He feared for his life. At the end of the day, it's a mess. As tight-knit as this community is said to be, ain't no way. Their protocols were lax. No SRO on site. No buzz in the system. Dr. Dady, all kinds of mess-ups here. All kinds of mess-ups. And I'm like, man, do y'all train at all? Do you have any training? What's really going on? If that's what law enforcement has come to, we are better off protecting ourselves. So at the end of the day, it's a real hard buy when we start coming to, and I'm going to say it once more and again, while they're SK8843, good morning to you. So much love coming to you. While they're talking about put more officers armed in the building, my answer is no. We don't need nobody else in the school system shooting our kids down. We don't need you, and we don't want you. And the answer to guns is not more guns. I'm so sorry. It's not training the teachers to shoot on sight. That's not the answer. We need policy for guns. That's what we need. So those kind of people, cops that used to get smacked by other cops back in the day. That's what you heard. You never did that. Stacy, somehow I don't believe you, girl. Somehow I just don't believe you. You don't think they had proper entry systems. The doors were usually left open. If there was an SRO assigned, he was somewhere chilling. And Texas is supposedly where guns are plentiful, but the police don't even have training. And that's a sad plight, Dr. Dady. That is a sad plight. And at the end of the day, you can just walk up in a school. You can just walk up in a school, and that's basically what this young man did, even though initially it was reported to me that he was met and there was some resistance to him. But after a while, we found out that is not the case. So, y'all listen.
Why you always lying?
How thoughtful of him, Kai Chick. How thoughtful. And we don't just throw shade. We shed light over here. The NRA ain't letting their guns into the convention. Why? Is he scared to get shot? Come on, Kim. Come on. Go in person, sir. But the Saints are scared of the same guns and the same NRA folk that they want to pass and give all these passes to. They're scared of them themselves. So at the end of the day, quit playing. And I'm looking and I'm booking and I'm checking it out. Now, if you all see what's on the screen right now, she's a survivor and she's only 11. Look right there in the very center. Look in the very center. That picture. That young 11-year-old girl. And this is the kind of stuff we've released our children into, but we won't do anything about it. This is insane. This 11-year-old girl, let me tell you the story if you haven't read it. This fourth grader, Maya Cirillo, she survived because she got to her friend that was shot dead, and she smeared her friend's blood all over her body, and then she laid down and played dead. Did you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? She went to her friend who was shot dead, this 11-year-old child, and smeared her friend's blood all over her body and then laid down and played dead. I'm just let that marinate. This 11-year-old survivor went to her friend who was shot dead, smeared her friend's blood over her body, and then she laid down and played dead. I just want that to marinate. If I was using Bible terms, I'd say Selah. Stop and think on that for a minute. This 11-year-old fourth grader went to her dead friend, smeared her dead friend's blood over her body, and then laid down on the floor and played dead. And I think that's all I need to say about that. I do believe. Lady Day 701, come on in here, sis. So much love coming to you. So much love coming to you. Oh, yes, traumatized. Unspeakable trauma. You understand? Lord Jesus, I see you. I see you. I see you. Lord have mercy, that baby. Traumatized. Lord have mercy. I see y'all talking. I see you talking. And while the police stood outside, Kai chick, too scared to help, these babies had to come up with means by which to spare their own lives from these AR-15s that I got a Second Amendment right to carry. What hurts so bad is these kids, including Captain Boots, now consider active shooter drills a normal. It's been normalized, Crazy Berry Town, a normal part of life. One of my friends' kids say, "Oh, I'll be fine, Mom. We trained for this." This is insanity. This is insanity. As the NRA meets and gathers, this is insanity. And if we cannot see that there's a mental illness attached to this mindset, I just don't even know what to say. Who releases your kids? As Crazy Berry Town said, active shooter drill is a normal part of life. Oh, we'll be fine. We train for this. You can't train for bullets, baby. You can't train for AR-15, assault rifles, weapons of war rifles shooting through you can't train for that. I'm telling you, it's amazing to me. It's absolutely stunning. And it will continue until it happens to somebody's child that's in a position to care. Otherwise, as long as it's your babies and your children, it appears as though they could care less because that NRA money is good money. The stories we're learning from the survivors in this is beyond heartbreaking. The 11-year-old survivor confirmed to the police officer helping her that his daughter was deceased. His daughter was the girl's best friend. And unfortunately, she had to use her best friend's blood to smear on herself to save her life. If y'all can't hear the insanity in that, I just don't know. I just don't know. What kind of country are we? It's like monsters. True, Crazy Berry Town, and they talk about it like it's normal. Tornado, fire drill, ABS active shooter drill today, and you know at the end active shooter drill today. That's insanity. Instead of fixing this, we put the onus on the kids to fend for themselves. I hate it here, and I hear you talking because this is not the way that we've chosen to live. And as I said again, we have to put the challenge out there that the majority of the people, 60 to 90% from a varying degree of legislation, the majority of the people in this country say this needs to be modified. But the people that we voted for and put in office are voting their own way. They don't care. And at what point do we come back and say, but listen, we didn't vote you in for you to have your merry way. We put you in to vote the direction of your constituents, and your constituency does not matter to you. You're doing whatever you want to do and padding your pockets full of money. That's not what we voted you in for, to go in poor and come out rich. That's not what we voted you in for. Protect us and protect our kids. What are you doing? Oh, my goodness. Your daughter had a breakdown at school yesterday because of all of the chaos. It's too much. It's too much. This is too much. And stress that these kids are having to live through is unimaginable. Not only have they survived the pandemic and have to wonder and worry, am I going to live past a virus that I can't even see and I don't even know where it's at, but it can get a hold of me and take me out. Not only do I have to deal with the pandemic, I also have to deal with the trauma of going to school. Even though I have active shooter drills, I have the drama of having to go to school and try to wonder, is somebody going to come in my classroom today and shoot me up? The mama and the Grammy is it's too much. Simply amazing. Our kids carry way too much. And this is the thing. When you've got people, come on, Psalmist 4, it's good to have you in here. When you have people that don't care about the trauma and the responsibility and the problems that these children are carrying on their shoulders, my goodness, they're little kids. They're little kids. And somebody doesn't care. You knew we were doomed when nothing happened after Sandy Hook. I know. And that's crazy, Berrytown. So many people are saying that. So many people are saying that. And for all the people that continue to support this opposite position, and especially when you're talking about assault rifles that should never, ever, ever be in civilian hands, it's just absolutely stunning. It's shocking and amazing. John Studios, come on in here, my friend. So much love coming to you. And the first thing that came to my mind when I saw John was nibbles and bits. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But you know, after Sandy Hook, you would have thought 20 little babies and 3 teachers would have made a difference. But we've grown accustomed to saying next, and then we get the next mass shooting and next. Now, that being said, let me impress this on your mind. I'm going to read. You are right. They just passed a mental health bill here in Georgia because one of the elected officials' son has a mental illness. They don't respond until it hits in their house. And unfortunately, Kim Possible, that's the truth. But again, I need folks to understand you were voted in and you need to respond to your constituency, not to what's going on personally in your house. Good morning to you, Queen. I see you. So at the end of the day, you know, I'm looking and I'm saying we really, really, really need to come to another level of accountability that we hold our elected officials to, because I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this. You tell me the majority of the people in the country want this, but y'all doing something totally opposite because somebody's putting money in your till. Somebody's making you filthy rich. No, ma'am. No, sir. We're sick of that. After each drill, there is documentation that has to be reported by the principals. How long? Any errors, but we're still focused on the outcomes instead of the process and processors, NRA lobbyists, politicians, etc. And therein lies the problem, Dr. Dady. Therein lies the problem. And if the politicians are taking money from the lobbyists and the organizations, how do we really expect them to be voting appropriately when their pockets are lined with these people's money? They do carry way too much, Jonna. Then we wonder why they and all of us are struggling with mental health as we come to the close of Mental Health Month. These kinds of things are exactly what have us so entrapped in a situation, in a scenario where so many people need mental health care. Now, I'm gonna tell you, like I keep telling you, I'm proactive mental health. Don't just wait till it's mental illness. I want you to fight for your mental wellness. Hear me when I say that. Don't just wait until it's mental illness. I want you to be proactive and work and fight for your mental wellness. Go before you need it and get a checkup regularly to keep your mind in order, just like you do the rest of your body. You heard that the police officers with kids inside the school, yes, we talked about that, Psalmist 4. They went in and got their kids out and left the rest of the kids to die. And yeah, make that make sense. Make that make sense. You just can't, Psalmist 4. You can't make that make sense. That makes no sense at all. And it shows the heart of the people that are working in those jobs. You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? It shows the heart of the individuals that are working in that job. Now, if you look down to the left and you see the man and the woman standing there together, this man, his wife was killed his wife was one of the teachers that was killed in this massacre, and he had a heart attack 2 days later and died. Do you understand? This is what I want to know for everybody that's out here ranting and raving for their Second Amendment rights and no changes to current policy. I don't care about you carrying your weapon, but this kind of stuff, it needs legislation. This kind of stuff needs policy. Why? Because we got an 11-year-old kid that had to smear herself with her dead friend's blood and lay down and play dead to spare her own life. You got a man who 2 days after his wife is massacred in this slaughterhouse has a massive heart attack and dies. Man, if we don't see the fallout and the domino effect that guns don't, but it's not the guns, it's the people, it's the guns. Just quit playing, quit lying. Quit lying to yourself, and please don't come out here lying to the people. It's the guns. He had 4 kids. The youngest is 13. You know, at the end of the day, they are without a mother and a father because somebody had an AR-15 and went in and shot them up, shoot them up in a school. Innocent people. But it's not the guns. Make it make sense. What kind of reality are we living in? It's almost like, you know how a lot of the TV shows are having like alternative realities where like they're especially in the science fiction, you're living in one galaxy and then you have an alternate reality that's going on in another galaxy and another body, but it's the same person. And it's like, is that what we think we're living in? All of these alternative universes and all of these alternative realities? Baby, it's only one reality. Pull yourself together. Folks are out here using this stuff and killing people. I hear you, Buster. It's the people and the guns. Because at the end of the day, guns don't get off the hook with me. And I'm so sorry. You can talk all day long. But an AR-15, there's no reason for you to have an AR-15 in the general public. That is a weapon for people in the military to use. There is no reason. Is no reason under the sun. And at the end of the day, you got crazy people out here with these weapons, and they're out here doing everything that they want to do, everything they're big enough to do, everything they think they can do with these weapons. Meanwhile, we are being just torn down, slaughtered, and killed. Now, this is what I want to go back to. Were her actions a part of the drill preparation? Wake up, people. Quit lying to yourself. This is what I want to go back to. In 10 days, that's the magic number, y'all. 10 days. Because why we are now so caught up with what happened in Texas, don't forget Buffalo. There were people whose lives were lost just 10 days prior. And now I hear absolutely nothing about Buffalo. And God forbid that young man that went in there and slaughtered up all of those people and was escorted out like he had ushers on both sides, that young man still needs to come to justice. And let's see what's going to happen. But ain't nobody saying nothing about Buffalo. And you're talking about 10 days. Whoo, y'all ain't ready for me. No reason, none. A barely 18-year-old should not be able to purchase that kind of a weapon. Ban it. Ban it. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Oh, but when your child, when your brother, when your husband, when somebody in your family gets shot up and killed, then it's a whole nother scenario. That's ugly. If you can only care when it's in your house, what kind of person are you? If you can only care when it happens in your house, in your family, what kind of person are you? Inquiring minds want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Because at the end of the day, if that's the kind of person you are, and that's the way you think, you shall not pass! Could it be? Could it be? The devil. Baby, that ain't nothing but that old slimy devil. So at the end of the day, we got to stop and check your heart. Check your heart. Don't come to me talking about Jesus. Don't come to me talking about pray. No, I don't need your raggedy prayers. We need some policy. Yes, I said it. We don't need your raggedy prayers. We need policy. A mother in Buffalo saw her daughter shot on the internet in Buffalo. She was home waiting for her to return, and that's heartbreaking. And the same 18-year-old that threatened to gun down his school, come on, I'm telling you, it's insane. How many innocent lives have to be lost over the right to purchase an assault weapon? Come on with that, Kai chick. Y'all talking to me. I'm over politicians being allowed to maintain their roles while padding their pockets for big corporations. That should have been over a long time ago, Psalmist 4. But listen, at the end of the day, that's the reason why a lot of them went into politics. It wasn't for the politics. It was the making of the money. Because, honey, they come in poor and they walk out rich. You understand the words that are coming in my mind? They come in poor and they walk out rich. That's their whole purpose in going in there. SK, a semi-automatic weapon like an AR-15 has one purpose: massive and rapid killing of persons. Write the vision, make it plain. Politicians will only move on gun control when their lack of action affects their votes. So at the end of the day, Psalmist 4, Simply Amazing, SK, John CPW, John Studios, that old slewfoot. I see y'all. And this is what, while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, and as we come on the heels of Memorial Day, this is what we're dealing with in our country, unfortunately. And listen, beloved, it doesn't have to be this way. This does not have to be. But until we get enough of us together that decide, no, ma'am, no, sir, we're not walking and talking in this insanity anymore. We're done with this. And again, we're being ruled by a minority. Understand that. We're being ruled by a minority. I'm going to say it once more and again. Anytime you have the majority of a country, their sentiment is one way, but you have a minority that's having their way the other way. Understand, you are being ruled by a minority. It's minority rule. Don't play games. And I'm not talking, I'm not trying to be political and all, but I want y'all to wake up and smell the coffee. Wake up. You know how we do it in here. No cream, no sugar. We take this coffee strong and black because I tells it like it TIZ. Wake up and smell the coffee. This is a minority rule, even in this scenario and situation right here, when you got 60 to 90% of the people in the country that want one thing, and you have this small handful of people that want something else. 40% and less that want something else. That is minority rule. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? This cycle of shooting, prayers, lies about legislation, lather, rinse, repeat. Come on, Dr. Dady. Come on with that. Has us on autopilot, and something that's insanity. To be on autopilot like that is insanity. I don't know how much more plain I can make it. I just don't know how much more plain I can make. If they ban the AK from being purchased, people who want to do damage have ways to get it illegally. I hear you, Buster, but at least make it difficult. Don't just hand it over. At least make it difficult. Don't just hand it over. Don't just open the door and tell them to walk in. Here you are. At least make it difficult. Don't let me turn 18, go to the store, pick it up and all the ammunition I want, and then go get on the internet and tell folks what I'm going to do, and then try to kill my grandma, and then go to the school and kill up a whole bunch. No. Make them work for that crap. Now, no. If you're going to get it illegally. But baby, you're not going to get it. Just walk in the store and pick it up. And then hopefully if you get it illegally, hopefully your tail's going to get arrested for illegal merchandise. Black market. I'm not even gonna get on that. I'm not even gonna get on that. These kids think it's a joke. An 18-year-old here in Michigan was arrested for threatening to shoot up a school in Texas. Another student pulled out a BB gun and pointed it at students. It's sad. This is crazy. This is crazy. The children are traumatized. They're trying to process this the best way that they can, but it's beyond heart-wrenching. And you are absolutely correct, Tall Pumps. Is church and state supposed to be separate? Then politicians need to stuff their thoughts and prayers where the where the sun don't shine. Australia did something about gun control in 10 days after their last mass shooting incident and had no more incidents, might I add, Psalms 4. But you didn't have 10 plus guns per household in Australia. I said it. You didn't have 10 plus guns per household. That's insane. The United States has, I think the statistic I saw was over 65% of the world's guns. Make that make sense. I'm going to say it again. The United States, and I believe it's either 60 or 65% of the whole entire world's gun supply, the United States has it. I'm talking about in Gen Pop. I'm not talking about in the military. I'm talking about in Gen Pop. That's insanity. There's so much accountability that's lacking on every level. So at the end of the day, make it difficult, Buster. Make it difficult. That's all I'm saying. Don't just let them just walk in and do whatever they want to do. Make it difficult. It's also amazing how random people have their privacy invaded, but the folks who announce their actions never get noticed. Listen, Dr. Dady, this kid, not only did he go on Twitch, this kid also went on Facebook and announced all of his intentions, but they were clueless. But on the same token, by the same token, as I said, I'm going to say it again because we posted it already. For those of you in Facebook, we're encouraging you to transition over to YouTube because I have to go daily on YouTube. I'm sorry, Facebook, and dispute so I can have my stream stay on Facebook. I have to do that every single day. But you can get on here and announce you getting ready to go to the school and shoot up a bunch of people and kill them, and you never get noticed. Make that make sense. Y'all quit playing with me. Quit playing. Quit lying. Listen.
Why you always lying?
No, ma'am. No, sir. No, ma'am. No, sir. You're required to pass a test to get a driver's license in Texas, but you're not required to have anything but money to buy a weapon. And it's insane. At the end of the day, it's absolutely positively insane. We sent arms to other countries. We're packing hard. Listen, Tall Pumps, we got all kind of guns. And I didn't pull it in here the other day when I put up that statistic of the numbers of who was actually, and I'll go to that as I'm getting ready to get out of here with this topic. Because listen, this is just all I can take. It's just all I can take while we come to this point of acting like we're fearing for our lives and I got to do this to protect myself against certain people. Insanity is these politicians and the Supreme Court so easily legislate my uterus, but won't come through Crazy Berrytown, but won't consider conversation about guns, pro-life my foot, and other parts of my body that I won't name. Ooh, y'all ain't ready up here. We in the lion's den. Y'all know how we do it in here. No cream, no sugar. We take this coffee strong and black because we tells it like it T-I-Z tis. Get out of my uterus and deal with this gun. Ooh, by the same folks that are out here acting in pedophilia. I said it. And all of the sex scandals all over the churches. But you want to get in my uterus. And you don't want to legislate guns because you got a second right amendment. Something's wrong. Now, I put this up the other day and I'm going to put it up again. Number of mass shootings in the United States between 1982 and May 2022 by shooters, race, and ethnicity. Unknown clear is 12. Native American is 3. Other is 5. Asian is 8. Latino is 10. Black is 21. And white is 68. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Now, as we come on, because listen, I want to come. Shelly Thunder, she's in the room, y'all. She's in the room. Come through. Shelly Thunder, come on in here, prophetess. So at the end of the day, you know, quit playing. Is a whole lot of lying going on up in here. Now, I want to come here because at the end of the day, I do feel that if I can do anything, I don't just throw shade, I shed light. If I can do anything to give us a positive takeaway, because this kind of stuff is so negative and so heavy. And I'm going to share this and then we're going to get on to our word for the day and get up out of here. Oh my goodness, it's almost 8:30. So I done almost talked up all my time, but I really do want to come here, even if I just have to share a really quick word to hopefully bless you and help you. I do want you to look at how we can deal with some trauma, y'all. So coping with racial trauma. This little piece I've had for some time sitting over in my inbox, and today, if we can kind of talk just a tad and address, because at the end of the day, this is trauma. This is trauma. This is definitely trauma. Now, you know, I think that in this country, the common denominator for abuse is not having money. You understand the words I'm saying? Not having money is the common denominator that puts us at risk. Not necessarily the color of my skin, not necessarily my ethnicity, all of this and the other. What puts us in a real pickle is the poor, or the don't haves, or those that have less than that nice, beautiful 1%. And I've said this and I'm going to keep saying this. My thing on the 1%, if the 99% don't figure out how to come forward and how to really, really, really move this agenda in a way, in a space that we can start having, let me see if I can get that back larger, some real conversation until we can get to the place. Let me see if I can open that up. There we go. Just a little bit bigger. I don't know if y'all can read that. 99%, if we can't do something to move the needle, 1%, 99%. This is why I'm advocating and saying it's time for us to come together. It's time for us to move together. It's time for us to work together. It's time for us to love together. One love. It's time for us to band together and make a different reality. And what do I say? Anytime you want to get rid of an old, you want to make something, an old, get rid of it, create a new reality that makes that old reality obsolete. If you want to get rid of that old reality, create a new reality that makes that old reality obsolete. Now, in the meantime, we still have to cope. And for Black people and people of color, I'm going to deal with it from the standpoint of racial trauma. But for those that are being traumatized as well, and you're not Black and you're not brown, trauma is trauma. At the end of the day, again, I'm going to say it and I mean it with all my heart. The biggest factor in whether or not you are being traumatized in this country is whether or not you have money. It's not the color of your skin. The color that this country likes is green. Be clear on that. Every other color is irrelevant. Do you have some green? Got you. We got you. So at the end of the day, I'm going to open this to everybody that's here because we do have a diverse group. It's not just Black people. And so at this point, as we all come together, we look at, come on, I see you, Simply Amazing. You say the time that none of us have it all, but we all have something. Do your part. Everybody can bring something to the table because it's going to take the 99%. Not just the Black percentage, but it's going to take the 99% coming together to change the reality from this current reality that we have with the 1% rule. So when we look at trauma, what is racial trauma? Racial trauma is the result of experiencing and witnessing racial stressors, including racism, discrimination, and violence against people of color. These acts of racism and discrimination create an environment in which a person of color feels unsafe and vulnerable in their community simply for existing in their own skin. Now that sets us apart from our white brothers and sisters, because you can be marginalized up to a point where poverty is concerned, where not being afforded certain things is concerned based on your station and status in life. But understand, black folks, we can't take skin on and take skin off. We can't put it on and put it off. So when we start dealing with the coping that we have to do, that is a continuous nonstop coping that has to be dealt with, because whether it's discrimination, whether it's racism, whether it's being in a supermarket and shopping and being shot down and slain just because the color of your skin, because I want you all to remember, what did the young man do when he walked up to the man that worked at the store that was white, and he walked up on him, and I think he had shot the man. It was not a life-threatening injury, but I do believe that he had either been shot, shrapnel or something. He was down on the floor, and y'all remember the young white man walked over and looked at him and said, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then went back to commencing killing black and brown bodies. That's what we're talking about, and this is what we need. Even our sisters and brothers in white skin, we need you to understand that we are those that have to live and cope with that trauma all the time, because we cannot take our skin off. And I'm gonna tell you what, we don't want to take our skin off. I'm proud of my skin. Daryl Corcoran, there's my schoolmate. There is my classmate. Come on in here, Daryl. Thank you for liking the stream, and so much love to you. Welcome to the Lion's Den. I don't want to take my black skin off. I'm not ashamed of my black skin. I can say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. But what I also have to deal with is the fact that I can be driving down the street in my black skin and be discriminated against, even, yes, by the popo, just because they see the skin that I'm in. This is an area that we start talking about racial trauma, because it's real for everybody that wants to believe and deceive in themselves into thinking this is something that, why can't black folks and why can't brown folks just let go of this idea and going and I hate this term, playing the race card. Why do we keep playing the race card? Everything's not about race. No, everything is not about race, but 100% of the time it is. Come on. In this country that has two different realities, for those that are in white skin and for those that are in brown and black skin, this is for real. It's not perceived. It's not imagined. This is a reality that must be dealt with on a daily. So we look at and we identify, we find means and methods to cope. And at the end of the day, our children are having to figure out how to cope. Can I go to the grocery store in my neighborhood? Is somebody going to drive 3 hours from where I live and come in just because it's predominantly my people in there and shoot us up at the grocery store? Am I going to go to church like those 9 that got shot up? Am I going to go to church for Bible study and prayer meeting and have somebody come in with the AR-15 and shoot up in the church just because we're black? Am I going to go to school and because my skin is black or brown, am I going to go to school and have somebody come in and just start shooting up? Because am I going to be able to go through my life where I don't have to worry about when the police officer pulls us over and I'm sitting in the back seat? Am I going to get mommy and daddy home, or are they going to be pulled over, pulled out of the car, shot, killed, abused, whatever? This is reality for black and brown bodies. It's not perceived and imagined. It's a reality. We have that added layer of doing more than teaching children to look both ways before crossing the street, Dr. Dady. We have to teach them more than that. We've got to teach them all different layers of how to survive in this country in black and brown skin. This is real talk, y'all. This is real talk. Y'all know this is Yes You, O Cubed, one-on-one, just me and you. And I am your spiritual thought leader. You know how we put it out there. No cream, no sugar. We take this coffee strong and black because we tells it like it T-I-Z tis. Now, as I'm talking about this, I'm not teaching and talking and sharing, and black folks already know it. But I appreciate all of my white brothers and sisters that are here with me to hear what I have to say, because we have to keep this awareness in front of the people's eyes and ears to acknowledge the fact this is the reality that we live on a daily, and we need support from everybody, not just black and brown bodies, but the whole entire 99%. We need the whole 99% to come together in one love so we can stop the madness. Because we're going to create the world that we want to live in. You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? We're going to create a new reality. We are going to do it. And it's not going to be built in hatred. We're not going to meet hate with more hate. We see what hatred has done. We see what hatred has done to this country. We see what hatred has done to the people. And it's just like you can't answer more guns with more guns. You got to meet more guns with something else. Policy, legislation, but we're not going to meet hate with hate. We got to answer hate with something else. And we're going to meet that hate with love and some ingenuity and coming back and rerouting and rearranging. We're going to come back and answer with boss energy. You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? We're not just going to lie down and hand you the Vaseline. We're not going to do it. We're just not going to hand you no more Vaseline. Ooh, the golden rule states he who has the gold makes the rules. The wealth disparity is intentional. But we have the power, John. And I agree with you 100%. You are telling the truth. But let's make a new reality. Let's start dealing with our racial trauma and deal with the trauma so that, listen, trauma will paralyze you. Trauma will put you in a state of ruminating. Trauma will put you in a state of just being stuck right there and can't move on to the next level. Let's identify it and then deal with it and then move. It's time to move, y'all. It's time to move. And I'm going to say it again. If 99% can't handle 1%, Houston area is a problem. But understand this. This is part of the plan. This is part of the way it works. If the 99% cannot see the plot and the planning of the 1% to keep us divided, how are we divided? When we have people that keep saying, oh, that's not your reality, that's in your mind. No, then we're divided. You are not understanding my reality and this reality. Sorry, Miss Jackson, I am for real. This reality is real. And as long as you think I'm playing a race card, as long as you think I'm making this up in my mind, we are divided. Why do we not want CRT taught? Why do we not want to hear the truth? Why do we not want to have 1690? Why do we not want all of these different areas to keep us divided? Because if we all see the same truth, if we all, come on in here, woman unsilenced, that's my girl. If we all see the same truth, if we all know the same truth, if we all understand the same truth, we will not stay divided, because the majority knowing the truth, you shall know the truth and the truth will make you free. If the majority of the people know and understand the truth, the majority of the people are not going to stand for it. No. But it's that deception. It's that lack of knowledge. It's that ability to keep us divided and not acknowledge we have traumatized a whole segment of people, and we did it on purpose. Am I talking to anybody? You may have money in possession, but my brown face is always a factor in the way that I'm perceived. You got doctors that get stopped. And then come on here, SK. I love there's a police officer right now that's suing the police department because some police officers mishandled him on a car stop. All they saw was that black skin. And I want them to sue the devil out of them. Am I talking to anybody? Woman Unsilenced, I see you lurking and working. I'm so glad that you're here. I mentioned you earlier, and we're encouraging everybody, please go follow Woman Unsilenced. And when she comes on, please, please, please support her stream. So this is where I'm telling us we've got to come. Brown Eyes 777. I see you. Come on in here. And so much love to you. We've got to deal with the trauma that we keep acting and creating as if it's okay. It's been normalized. No big deal. No problem. No, it is a big deal. We're talking about trauma. And then when you bring it to the level of racial trauma, we've got to find a way to cope with it, deal with it, and get rid of it. Am I talking to anybody? Now, then we go to that next box, the effects of racial trauma, re-experiencing distressing events. When you start talking about PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and even as Kimberly says, post-traumatic slavery disorder, we got all of that going on, and we have to cope with those traumas. Is anybody understanding? Listen, you know I don't just throw shade, K-Chick. I shed light. Having to re-experience distressing events. And then listen, 10 days between one mass shooting and another mass shooting. 10 days is not even enough time to process the first mass shooting. And then you got another mass shooting on top of it. And we just keep re-experiencing and re-experiencing. Not just reliving it, but re-experiencing and re-experiencing. Y'all understand the words? Trauma. Trauma. Come on in here, Mike City. Mike City. Come on in here. That's my guy. That's my guy. That's my guy. Yeah. We got to just keep dealing with it over and over. And don't you fool yourself. PTSD is powerfully real. You better ask somebody. It's real. Chronic stress, and stress will kill you. Chronic stress, hypervigilance. You got to stay on guard. You got to stay attentive. Listen, parents, if they tell you the truth, when they send their kids to school, they're on edge. When we go out to the restaurant, you don't even know if you can sit down and eat a full meal in peace without somebody coming in and shoot them up. We're hyper vigilant because we have to be. Nobody wants to be. We want rest, but you bet not rest. And that's the attitude, the mindset, the energy that keeps coming at you. Because it's almost like the very minute I let my guard down, bam, I'm a victim. Bam, my child is a victim. Bam, somebody in my family is a victim. And so you have this hypervigilance that's constantly there. And that, listen, beloved, that by itself is enough to wear you down. Am I talking to anybody? Depression. And I'm not even going to spend a long time on that, but y'all know this is Mental Health Month. Mental Health Month. Come on, I hear you, Mike City. You can't let your guard down. You can't let your guard down. I hear you, man. I hear you. And that's hard. That's stressful. That's traumatizing even in and of itself. Anxiety. And I'm going to tell you what, the other week, it seems like the other week, it may have been last month, my great nephew, my sister's grandson, got a message from her daughter-in-law that my great nephew's school was in lockdown, potentially active shooter. You talk about anxiety or not even know what's going on. You have no clue, no further information, no further details. You don't know. You just know something's going on at school. School is in a complete lockdown situation and you're waiting for hours to get some information as to what's going on. anxiety, you think? Physical pain. And after you carry that for a certain amount of time, it can turn into physical pain. Cardiovascular disease, why are we having heart attacks, high blood pressure, and stroke? Hypertension, respiratory complications. Then to protect and process, avoid triggers and set boundaries. Avoid triggers and set boundaries. And sometimes that almost be like, okay, so I'm about to go in isolation. What are we doing here? Avoid triggers and set boundaries. Talk to like-minded friends, family members, and know when to seek support. Hear me. Because listen, even here in the Lion's Den, we have a diverse group here, and I love that. But there is that understanding that a lot of times there is that sense that Black people feel I can't just talk freely and openly about our Black experience because it's going to be met fiercely and vehemently by people that don't understand the Black experience. So you got to know what to say, when to say. Come on, MCP, gotta go. Love you so much. Have a great day. Enjoy this holiday weekend as well. Walking outside some days takes courage because you don't know if you're going to make it back home. Just because you look a certain way, we were just talking about that. Come on, Mike City. Your 7-year-old granddaughter got so sick on Tuesday she had to come home. I was with her yesterday with not one complaint. She wasn't sick, but she was anxious behind all of this mess. Are we making sense? So then we look and then we say, okay, recognize symptoms of anxiety, anger, practice self-care, engage in behavioral coping, exercise, deep breathing, body scanning, go to CBT, Crazy Berry Town, Zumba, work some of that off, get some of that exercise, get your body in a state, go take a walk, sit by a nice brook and some running water, get outside and let some sun get on your skin. Take care of yourself. Come on, Aunt Azealia. You're welcome. You are so welcome. Take care of yourselves. You got to take care of yourself because you got to cope with this. Then protest. That's a part of coping with it. Protest. This stream, what I'm talking about today, this is my way of protesting. This is my way of talking about it. It may not always be that you're out there in the streets, standing in the packs and the numbers of the people standing there with the sign. Your protest may be the way that you vote. Your protest may be what I'm doing here today and talking and making it aware and explaining and making it, laying it bare, showing it for what it is. I'm in protest. Don't just let it keep sliding by. Enough is enough and too much is too much. And what did my guy say on Popeye the Sailor Man? I've had all I can stand till I can't stand no more. Baby, we've had enough. Protest. Don't just talk about it. Be about it. Protest. We're not going to stand for this. We've had enough. Am I talking to anybody? And then look for opportunities. Be a better ally. I want to be allies, not just to my friends and family in the Black community. I want to find allies in the Hispanic community. I want to find allies in the Asian community. I want to find allies in the LGBTQ plus community. Every area that's being marginalized, every area that's being trampled down, every area where people need to come together and be supported and give support. I'm finding allies because we're not having it, SK. We're not having it. So as we come on, look for opportunities to speak and act. And sometimes it may be even a matter of being someplace where some folks are talking and spewing. And this is what I'm going to say. I appreciate Stacy. I appreciate Daryl. I'm so glad that you're here. I appreciate those that have a different melanin than I do, but they stand up, they speak, they talk amongst their family, amongst their friends, amongst their cohorts. Good morning, Michelle Brownell. Come on in here. They stand up and they speak. It's not just for us to speak. We need everybody to speak truth. If you know the truth, speak it. Find opportunities to speak it. Show up in solidarity, one for the other. We've got to come together and do this thing. You were happy to see the students in several big cities here in the U.S. stage protests by walking out in unison. We've got to do it, y'all. We've got to do it. We've got to create another reality. That's right. Support us all, black and brown, regardless of each other's choices. We got to have the support woman unsilenced. Stop dividing ourselves. And that's why I'm going to say it again. The only way the 1% is able to contain minor and minority rule, the only way that the 1% is able to do that is because the 99% won't come together. You cannot tell me that 99% cannot overtake and subdue 1%. Inform yourself. Reflect on your privilege with an eye toward growth, not guilt. And that's for my white brothers and sisters. I want you to be clear on that. Reflect on your privilege, because there is privilege in white skin. If you don't believe it, you're deluding yourselves. There is privilege in just having white skin. So this is what it says. Inform yourself. And for those and the diversity that's here, I'm so glad that you're here, because even this is a way of informing yourself. It's one love, SK8843. It's one love in boss energy. So when we look at this type of scenario, then this is what I even want to encourage my white brothers and my sisters. Don't go to the guilt place. Oh, I feel guilty. Or the flip side of that. My ancestors did that. I ain't got nothing to do with it. As long as the injustice is still going on in this world right now, and it is, we are not free until we're all free. I'm not asking you to be guilty. I'm not asking you to answer for what your ancestors did. There's racism and different things that are going on against brown and black bodies right now today. I ain't talking about on the slave plantation. But I need you to really reflect on your privilege with an eye towards growth. How can I grow from here and go to another space? I'm not trying to be guilty, and nobody's trying to make you feel guilty. We just want you to not be a part of the problem. Please be part of the solution. Growth, 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 not guilt. Take the time to learn about different races and ethnicities. Baby, if you don't know about other groups, and I'm going to include with that the LGBTQ plus community, if you don't know about other groups and you're and why do I say that? Because there's a lot of church people. Y'all just so ugly. You're so mean. You're so nasty. You're so hateful against LGBTQ. And you don't realize you're doing the same thing to the LGBTQ plus community that other folks have done against you. And I said what I said, and I'm not going to take it back. Take time to learn about different races, ethnicities, and I'm going to add with that communities. Watching films, listening to new music, trying new food are just a few ways to learn about groups that are different from you. And then the last thing that I want to say here, the last bullet point, the last segment that they have, engage in activism. Engage in activism. Use your boss energy. Don't just have it. Don't just talk about a thing. Don't Listen, this pride, Pride, this Pride Alliance is relentless. You're going to hear us roar. I need you to engage in activism. I need you to actively do something. And we may not all be doing the same thing, Aunt Azalea. We may not all be doing the same thing, but do something. There's something for everybody. And a little bit of something can go a long way if the 99% are all doing something. If the 99% are all active and moving in activism. If the 99%, the activism fairly all day, the activism, we've got to have the activism. Honey, activate your activism, activate your boss energy, activate it, because we will be healed. We will be healed. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We will be healed. We will be healed. And the change that we want to see is here. It's happening. We're not the in crowd. We're the in crowd because it's happening. ING. It's happening. And at the end of the day, y'all, the world that we want to see, we got to create it. And we can because we got the boss energy. We're empowered. We're intelligent. We're informed. We're loving. We're caring. Come on here. We're united. We're engaged in activism. We're not just going to sit by, stand by, and watch this thing unfold and happen over and over and over. And enough is enough and too much is too much. Come on, Auntie Azalea. Activism, not cynicism. Oh, that's a word. That's a word, Aunt Azalea. Activism, not cynicism. All you cynical folks miss me with that. Miss me with that. We're going to change it. This shall be changed. And we have the power. We have the ability. We have the wherewithal. We can do this. We will do this. And we're doing this. And with that, I'm going to shut it down for today. I appreciate everybody that has come in here. Everybody that has come into the Lion's Den and brought your love. Everybody that has come in and been actively engaged. You love that this room is so diverse on every level. We all need each other, ratchet and righteous, black and white, all sexual orientations, educated and unlearned. And thank you so much for that. Simply amazing. You said a whole word right there. And this is what I want people to understand. The unlearned still know something. I said something right there. The unlearned still know something. Because I learned a whole lot of knowledge from the unlearned. Nobody's counted out. Nobody is omitted. Nobody is left. We're all in this thing together. Am I making sense? We're all in this thing together. We're all moving together, acting together, flowing together. One love. It's all about one love in the Lion's Den.
Oh, I feel for my brother.
Well, I feel for my brother and I feel for my sister. This has been another edition of Yes You O Cubed. What's the O Cubed for? It's one-on-one, just me and you. I am your spiritual thought leader, and I'm so glad that you thought it well to come in and spend some time with me this morning and the other lions in the Lion's Den. Thank you to everybody that has chatted fairly all day. You know you my girl. I want to thank everybody that has come in and shared. All of the new people that came in today. I appreciate you for showing up in the Lion's Den. I love you. I love you. I love you. Now listen. Hey, Yimby 84, Yimbell 84. Come on up in here. So much love to you. No, thank you, Aunt Azalea. Thank you for coming in here. I appreciate all of my streamers. Please, streamers, go ahead and put your information in the chat. I'm sorry. I always mean to get to that earlier, but I get to talking and I lose myself. But please put your information in there. Follow all of these awesome streamers that are in here. And to every streamer, I always thank you because you could do so many other things, but you're here. And to all of the viewers at large, thank you, thank you, thank you from all the different platforms. I appreciate you. Now, listen, you can follow me because I'm out there, y'all. I'm out here all over the place, and I appreciate your support. You can follow me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Patreon, Twitter, Twitch, Anchor, Discord, and more. I'm out there, babies. And this is our mantra. We don't have a spirit of intimidation. We don't have a spirit of fear. We've got power power, we've got love, we've got a sound mind, and we are all powerful in love. We don't just talk about change, but babies, we will be the change. Yes, we will. And we don't have to worry about being alone on this journey, because this pride, Pride, this Pride Alliance is relentless, and you're going to hear us roar. And it's us, you, me, we all, because we're all in this thing together. And together in one love, we're about to make a change up in here. You better ask somebody. Get ready for us, because we're moving in boss energy. That's the way we roll. Now, copy that raid message, because we're getting ready to go to anti-morning bangos with the Rebel Ink. Y'all don't want to miss it, because it is the cracks. I promise you, it is the cracks. You don't want to miss the Rebel Ink on this morning. Now, we appreciate everybody, not in the den of iniquity, but the den of activity. And we're bringing our line support, and I appreciate everybody that has come in. My awesome moderators, Michelle Browno, the Rebel Ink, and Shelly Thunder. I just love y'all. Y'all are all that in the bag of chips and the blessed Trinity. I want to appreciate our new follower today, BS Spirituality, whatever that means. I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm so glad that you followed, and I hope that you got a word on today. And to everybody that's here, listen, I appreciate you. Now, again, copy that raid message, because we're getting ready to go to anti-morning bangos with the Rebel Ink. And you know how we do it in here. As my moderator Shelly Thunder says, have an amazing day on purpose. Have an amazing day on purpose. Lord, let me charge up. I see you fairly. Have an amazing day on purpose. And you know how we leave it. Y'all have a safe Memorial Day weekend. All the travelers, be careful, and God's traveling mercies go before you. And at the end of the day, as we always say, peace for your journey.